unconventional thoughts on acting, fame, and life, this dark horse disproves the idea that no one gives an import from television a fair chance in movies. Sushant Singh Rajput has made his place under the sun with grit and sheer star presence. Today he is in conversation with me about success, stardom, and all things in between. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Niranjan.
And I've heard that you are extremely reticent, and you yourself have confessed a little while ago that you don't like to speak and you like to listen. But this is not the show to listen.
So yeah, I don't say much. I prefer listening to speaking. So this might get very dicey. So let's figure it out.
No, I don't think it will get dicey. I think you just have to make up your mind that you're going to speak today, and you're going to speak your heart and mind out.
Cool.
Yes. Tell me something. Why this reticence? Considering you're an actor, what is it that makes you so reluctant to speak?
I think it's the other way around. It's just because I am so introvert and so shy, and I always had this inability to speak and communicate, is why I'm an actor.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, I grew up in a big family. I have four sisters, and I was very pampered and protected as a child. So when I used to step out, I didn't know how to deal with people. So I could feel it, everybody is like judging me and scrutinizing me. And so I was like, okay, let me not say anything. Let me just get into studies. I didn't realize till the time I was actually performing for Shamak in a stage show as a dancer. And suddenly I was on stage and I could feel the lights hitting my face. I could see all the strangers looking at me. And the music started and it was something else. I was actually communicating without even saying a word. And I could see people getting affected by it. So that was quite magical. That was like, okay, this is something that I think I always wanted to do. And that's when everything started. I took a big U-turn from that. I decided, okay, this is something that I can or might do for the rest of my life. And things happened.
You said that you were brought up in a very protected environment where you had 4 sisters and you were the youngest.
Yeah, youngest.
So what was that time like? What was it about their protection that made you less communicative? Normally what happens is that when there is a youngest child, the child is pampered, he or she ends up being spoiled.
Yeah, I was very spoiled. There was this other thing because all my sisters were very academically very, very sound. And growing up in a family, in such a big family, money was always a very important factor in our life. So the only way through was to do something, that can actually financially secure us. So study was the only way out, and that's how I got into. For the first 18, 19 years of my life, I was just very introvert, very shy, and completely into studies. But things happened when I started performing for Shamak. And then Shamak told me once that, you know what, you're not one of my finest dancers. But I still keep you on the first line because there is something. And I think that something was that wanting to communicate that was there for the first 18, 19 years of my life. And so he was like, you know what, you should try theatre. Because you got something, you need to explore it. So I went to Barry John in Delhi.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're an engineer, right?
Yes,
you studied engineering, correct?
Yeah. I'm a dropout, by the way.
Oh, okay. So somebody who's aspiring to be an engineer, who's brought up in a protective family like how you explained just now. First of all, how does someone like that decide that he wants to join Shamak Davar's Dance Institute? Secondly, after deciding that, when he decides that he's going to enter the entertainment business, that too as a TV, how does that happen?
Well, they are completely diametrically two opposite answers for the first and the second question. I'll tell you very honestly why I decided to actually go to Shamak. So I got into this college feeling very good about myself. I'm like, oh, this is it. I've arrived. And suddenly I found that, okay, it's a very wonderful college, but there's so many guys here. It's a dangerous amount. And there are no girls. So I felt cheated. And a couple of my friends also felt cheated. So we were like, okay, what are we supposed to do now? So we were like, okay, we can do one thing. We can hang around all these women colleges in Delhi University. So what we used to do was, we used to go in front of Miranda House, Lady Shri Ram, and Jesus and Mary College. And we used to buy the entire basket of Moongfali. We used to sit there in the best clothes possible, and we used to sell it to hot-looking girls. So that was
sell it. I thought you were going to eat.
Sell it. So that was the first step. And the second step was somebody told me that, you have this inclination for dancing, you like dancing. Why don't you join a dancing institute? Because I have heard that there are lots of hot girls coming there. So I was like, okay, that's not a bad idea. So I went there. So this was the reason why I went there. I'll be very extremely honest. Very quickly, I realized that, okay, once I was on stage, I was completely different human being. I wanted to be there. And when I started acting, this was, I think, the second year of my college. What I did was I bought all the possible books that were, kind of available on for filmmaking and acting. I read all of them. And I realized that somebody said that, okay, you can't actually make somebody an actor, but you can train an actor. So I was like, what if I'm not an actor? So I went to Barry John, and I was there for 3-4 months when we got a certificate. And I got a B grade, and everybody else got C. So that's when I got to realize, okay, this is something that I really can do. Also because, I could hide behind all these interesting characters. I could say things that I really want to say, but at the same time, I can tell people that, oh, this is not me. This is the character. I was like, okay, this is something that I really want to do. Even if I don't get paid for it, I'll still do it.
And that's how you decided that you were going to become an actor? And
I was actually with Shamak and with Barry. So for
you had already joined Barry by then?
So for 2.5 years, I was doing theatre with Barry. Nobody knew because I was staying in a hostel. So I used to dance behind all the possible stars that that are still there in all the Filmfare Awards and everywhere. And but nobody knew. I very silently used to nurse this dream.
How did the television offer come? And normally what happens is people who want to become Bollywood heroes, like you did, always have a little bit of a skepticism when it comes to accepting a television offer.
I think the most important thing is whether you can convince yourself that you can do it or not. We generally have an idea of our potential, and because of that, we take certain actions. Because of that, we get some result, and that reinforces the belief that, okay, that was the correct idea of our potential. So I use this, fundamental law of success every time I was supposed to make a very important decision in my life. Even dropping out of my college was a big, big decision. I came here, I was like, okay, even if I crack a tough examination like All India Engineering and entrance exam, I'm still supposed to invest 4 years to be an engineer. How can I be an actor like this? So I need to invest time to actually know the intricacies of acting. So I was with Barry in Delhi, and then I came here. I didn't give any auditions. I was with Nadira Babbar doing theatre. And it was one of the shows, I still remember it, there was this monologue, and Balaji people were there, and they were like, okay, would you want to do a TV show? It's a prime time and this and that. And I was like, yes. I've never acted in front of a camera, so it'll be a good experience, and I started with that.
So you did so well on television, and then you got a film offer. Kai Poche was your first film.
That was actually the 7th offer.
7th offer. With the earlier 6, you probably didn't take
said
it.
No. Yeah.
You said no to all of them, right? So my question to you is that television had made you a very big star, and of course television also provides you with a great amount of financial security, which was rather important in your early years. So how did you decide that you were going to give that security up to take up a film which may or may not have done well?
No, actually, when I quit, I had no film offers.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason for quitting television was entirely different. It has to do with the excitement that I was talking about. So once I got to know that, okay, this is how you act in front of camera, maybe. And so as an actor, I felt very repetitive. And I realized, okay, I have stopped growing. And people told me again, it was a deja vu feeling. When I was dropping out of my college, everybody laughed at me. And then when I was dropping out of the show, everybody was like, okay, you stay here for another year, get yourself more money, and then maybe you decide to quit. But then I was suffocating, to be very honest. I was like, okay, I'm not growing. So even if I don't get a film, let me go to UCLA maybe and learn how to make a film. So I dropped out because of that. Then I started getting offers. And those were very good offers, you know, like solo hero, lots of songs and all that shit. So I was like, okay, but then I couldn't say yes to them for some reason. I don't know. I still don't know why I say yes to a film. I was about to go to UCLA, and Mukesh Chavda called me for Kai Poche. I gave the audition. He gave me the script, and I just couldn't take my mind out of that script. I mean, I was consistently thinking about that film, and I was like, yeah, this is something that I really want to do, and everything changed.
You got, like, so to speak, of course, Kai Poche was a very appreciated film and it did very well also. But the real success in the worldly sense came to you with Shuddh Desi Romance, right?
Yeah.
That's the film that really put you on a map and people felt that, oh, here's a Bollywood hero.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Like, what was the story behind you getting Shuddh Desi Romance and what made you choose that film?
I don't know. I just met with Jaideep and Manish. I remember that night when they told me about this conflict that most of us have, even if we are very sure about our relationships. But just before, you know, we are about to get married, we are like, okay, thinking it again. Okay, is this something that we actually want to do? And it felt very real. Also, because I always, and this is something that I'm sharing for the first time, I was in my 3rd and 4th grade. I was told that, okay, this is what you have to become, an engineer. And I was watching DDLJ and, you know, all the Yash Raj films. And, you know, this was this random thought that what if there is a time where YRF appears and then it's like starring Sushant Singh Rajput. So it was always there. And suddenly I'm sitting in front of Adi and he's being very serious. He's like, okay, this is the film. For the first 10 minutes, I couldn't hear anything, by the way. So I was like, okay, I'm sitting in a wire office. This is the DDLJ Ghanti that I saw when I was young. And so it's like, yeah, so this is the script. So it's like, okay. So I read the script and it kind of emotionally resonated with me. I was like, I couldn't ask for more. And I still remember I was still shooting for Kai Poche. And I said yes, and we shot back to back, Kai Poche and Shuddh Desi Romance. It was like living a dream.
So how do you deal with a non-performance of a film like a Byomkesh Bakshi when you put in so much effort?
I feel bad, definitely I feel bad. But then, you know, as an actor, I can do so much because I'm extremely proud of the decision of doing that film. That was the best Byomkesh I could possibly be in that film. So I'm extremely, extremely proud. Having said that, I really wish that it could have, you know, done very well on the box office. But then that's not in my hand, and that's why I don't think about that. But obviously it's important because the kind of films that I really want to do, if my films do well, producers will give me those films, I'll have those options. So that is important, but that is certainly not in my hand. I can choose the right films for myself, and I can also give it my best. These are the two things that I can actually give. And that are the things I really think about most of the times.
One of the most important aspects of being an actor, especially in Bollywood, is the media. And I think that's where a lot of people find a lot of discomfort in dealing with the media because A, there is no way of being 100% honest. And yet there is no way of being completely dishonest because eventually whatever happens always comes out. So how do you deal with that? How difficult was it for you to deal with, especially because you're so reticent and especially because you don't like to speak too much?
That's why I don't give interviews, you know, because most of the times I will not say a thing or I'll be completely honest about it. So how many interviews does it take to actually tell everybody that, okay, this is what I am, this is what I think, this is what my dream is? So yeah, I don't give that many interviews, but at the same time, when I give it, I try and be extremely honest about everything that I say. And in between, when you know, journalists, you know, they write me off and they say things, it's hard. Well, like it's difficult. But at the same time, there's one quote that I still remember, and it says that you know, when you are doing what you really want, this is the organic process that people will first ignore you, and then they will laugh at you, and then they will fight with you, and then you get what you want.
So where are you right now in this process?
They're laughing at me like
They're
that.
laughing at you.
They're laughing at me
Who's
like
laughing at you? No one's really laughing at you.
I know that I'm not. Yeah, this is the way to go.
the one thing that has also been very unique about you is that normally what happens is when actors, especially when they come into movies and they are in a serious relationship, most often either they are hiding it or then they're denying it. But in your case, you didn't do either.
You know, I know this for a fact that it's very hard, it's very tough for anybody to peacefully coexist with me. I mean, like, it's very, very difficult, and I know this. And since last 6.5 years, Ankita has been very patient, very loving, and she's very excited to be with me. So I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to, you know, and she's beautiful, and I love her. So I just want to be with her, you know. And yeah, we fight a lot, and then we love each other. But then that's how our relationship goes. You know, मोहब्बत में नहीं है फर्क जीने और मरने का, उसी को देखकर जीते हैं जिस काफिर पे दम निकले.
Wow, क्या बात है.
क्या बात है.
That's your philosophy for
Yes,
a relationship.
of course.
How does she feel about your career? In the sense that she also has worked with you on television before.
True.
And films are a different ballgame altogether. Does the personal relationship suffer while you're doing movies?
No, it doesn't. That's why it has survived for 6.5 years. But I don't know why. I cannot give you a logical explanation of why she wants to be with me. And that's why I'm very happily surprised, and I don't want to take a chance of asking her that, why do you want to be with me? Because I know this that it's extremely difficult to be with me. But maybe because we are so much into each other. And I've realized that, you know, if you want to break a relationship, every day you can come up with only one excuse. If you want to survive a relationship, you will find 100 excuses every day to survive a relationship. And I just cannot do without her. This is one reason why, you know, I'm slightly emotional, I'm vulnerable, I want to be insecure, I want to be with her. So, yeah.
And what are the areas of conflict, if there are any?
If there are kisses in my films?
Yeah, I was about to come to that. Yes.
Yeah, and there were like quite a lot of kisses in my second film.
Second film, yes.
Obviously, you just can't help, you know. You tend to get insecure. But then if you want to survive the relationship, you understand why the other one is doing something.
So what is the explanation that you give her when there are kisses in your movie?
A fat paycheck, baby.
And does that always work?
No, it doesn't. You know, the number of kisses are like decreasing with every film. So there were like many in the second, one in the third, nothing in the fourth.
Fourth film.
So yeah,
So
it's like going
she's
down.
one in that sense.
Yeah.
It's been 6.5 years that you've been with her, and one keeps reading off and on about a wedding that's going to happen. And just recently I read a piece where you said that in 2016 there's going to be this grand wedding that's going to happen.
You know, the thing is, in all my interviews, they ask me this question. I answer very honestly, but I don't know why they reacted like this very recently, because I've been telling this all this while. And at the same time, I'm slightly scared because, you know, very confidently, I've been saying that, okay, next year, December is when I'm getting married. I still have not asked Ankita. What if she says no tomorrow? I'll be like in a very difficult space. So yeah, but then, yeah, it's inevitable. We have been together for so many years, and we know that, okay, this is the future that is very right there. And we will eventually get married. So she wants an elaborate wedding, and that's the time that I can actually invest 20-25.
You should have asked her by now, because it's going to take a while to plan an elaborate wedding, isn't it?
True. Tonight is the night.
So we have a special segment on the show where we give a chance for your fans to own something that you have owned before.
All right.
So I had said that you have to get something for us.
Yes,
What have you got
I
for
did.
us?
This is a T-shirt.
Wow.
That I wore on the first day of the shoot of Kai Poche.
Kai Poche, okay.
Yes. And it reminds me every day that I should pursue my dream, you know. Okay. Because, and you shouldn't care about what people say, because people will say, look who is talking, and they'll get to, look who is talking with Niranjan. So this is the T-shirt that I want to give.
Okay. We'll put it up on the net, and the proceeds of this will go to charity.
All right.
So thank you so much for giving us the T-shirt that was so dear to you.
My pleasure.
So you're not the only one who's giving a gift. You're actually getting one as well. This is a gift card from Amazon as greetings of the season. from Amazon and from us.
Thank you so much.
So enjoy.
I was really not expecting this. Thank you so much. It's symbiotic.
So now comes a segment which I used to be very uncomfortable about,
All right.
but now I've begun to enjoy it thoroughly.
Okay.
Which is basically fed my vanity through all these episodes,
All right.
which is the selfie moment.
Okay.
So we're going to take a selfie.
Sure.
We have to have as much fun as possible.
All right. I'm trained to actually kiss when I'm taking a selfie. so I'll kiss.
you're most welcome to.
All right. Are you taking a selfie?
So Sushant, you became an actor so that you could hide yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you're a liar. Okay.
Sure.
So let's play this game.
All
Let's
right.
see how good a liar you are.
Sure.
You'll make 3 statements now, out of which 2 will be true and 1 will be a lie about yourself.
All right.
Okay. And the audiences will guess which one is a lie.
Cool.
So all yours. Make 3 statements.
Okay, number 1, I'm claustrophobic. Number 2, I sleep for 6 hours a day. And number 3, I'm a terrible singer. The lie is I sleep for 6 hours a day because I have insomnia. I can't sleep for more than 2 hours a day. So yeah.
So let's have some fun.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
All right.
And answer them as quickly as you can.
Cool.
Sexiest co-actress in a film.
Anushka,
What would you prefer, a small role in a big film or a big role in a small film?
a big role in a small film.
Awards or hits?
Hits, of course.
Hits, definitely.
Hits, yeah.
You don't care about awards.
No.
The one person you'd give credit for all your success.
My mother, although she's not here to actually, but then to my mother, yes.
What do you deal with better, failure or gossip?
Failure. I think we should reward excellent failures and we should punish mediocre successes.
So you operate completely on a different level when it comes to choice of your movies or even the way your career path is going.
Yeah.
But for the general audience, you're still pitted against actors who are your contemporaries, who are choosing a slightly more conventional path towards selecting their films or doing the kind of movies that they are doing. And so in such a scenario, do you feel that you being compared to them is a bit unfair?
Sometimes I'm very, very affected by it. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I say, okay, these are things that you can easily do. I mean, you train as a dancer. I have been trained in martial arts for 3 years. So all the fight sequences and, actually killing all these villains in the film is actually slightly more easy for me than to actually emote these kind of intricate emotions. And I have nothing against these films. It's just that the kind of films that I've done have appealed more to me than these kind of films. So maybe tomorrow I might do a film which is like full of songs, but it's just been 2 years, so let's see.
From what you told me earlier, I think you, in the initial years at least, you were assailed a lot by your self-doubt. Like people probably judging you or not knowing what they are thinking. And then you have arrived at this mantra, so to speak, which has really, really worked. Are you at all plagued by self-doubt at times?
Of course, of course. I very honestly believe that everybody is very, very psychologically insecure. There is no way out. I can give you many examples for it. One thing that we can what we know about the future is we're going to die one day and we're going to lose out on everything that we have earned. So there's nothing that we can do relationship-wise or career-wise that will give us absolute psychological security. So this thing will always be there. So there are like 2 Sushant operating at the same time. Every day there's a pendulum swinging. One who doesn't want to do anything, who has realized that no matter what you achieve, nothing will change mentally. Because I'll give you an example. As a kid, I always wanted to buy, these fancy cars. And I stayed with that idea for good 10-15 years. That okay, one day, and I told you, money was a very important factor in our life. I was like, one day I'm gonna buy this car. Or when I used to be a background dancer and I used to go to all these Filmfare Awards in YRF studio, I used to tell everybody that one day I'll come here as an actor. So I thought this is it. This is when I will be happy and secure. And very quickly everything happened. I still remember the day when I was buying that fancy car that I thought of. I actually bought 2 cars on the same day. And I couldn't sleep the entire night. I was so excited. I bought it. I called my friends. We went out for a good long drive. I slept that night. And the next day, I was okay with the idea of owning that car. So I felt cheated. I was like, I stayed with you for 15 years. You stayed with me for one night. So this is it. And then when I'm doing a film for Wire FM, it's like living your dream. But I've come to realize that nothing changes. So this is one part of me that tells me that, okay, you got big goals. This is what you want, but nothing will change. And there's another part of me that tells me that, okay, this is the only way to live your life, is to be actually first identify what you really want to do. That is very, very important. So me identifying that, okay, acting or performing arts is something that I really want to do for the rest of my life was very important. Having the courage to actually back it and being very, very extremely excited about it. Everything comes to your way. So this other part wants to be number one, you know, in what he wants to do. So the pendulum keeps swinging every day and I have to make a choice every day.
Thank you so much, Sushant, for being on the show and being so candid and patient and also philosophical.
Thank you. Wow, we talked a lot, man. Am I looking hot? Yes. You can watch me on Sunday. I really want to pee and smoke a cigarette.
You only read the first one, you couldn't read down.
It's because of you.
I must say your social skills are improving by leaps and bounds.
I'm working on it.